Good morning, everybody. My name is Lana Harris. This is the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. We're also on YouTube. So good morning to you wherever you're watching. This morning, we have a lot of stories. A lot went on overnight. We had several breaking news stories that we were on top of. So we're going to start off with one that was actually a misunderstanding, but the whole situation is honestly a little nuts. So we're going to show you what happened. This is video here of the Dollar Tree that we're talking about in question. One of our reporters was driving down the street in Marietta, headed somewhere else, when he saw police officers with their guns drawn at this Dollar Tree in the Whitlock Shopping Center. So he went over there instead. The initial reports were that someone was inside with a gun. So, of course, that's what led to the standoff. The officers drew their guns. They started calling out to the person with a loudspeaker. But then the employees showed up and were able to identify that the person inside was the manager. Whole time he was working in the back and listening to music. The employees called the manager. He came out of the store, and the whole ordeal came to an end. So if you were driving out in that area in Marietta and saw that, complete misunderstanding. Absolutely incredible situation, but thankfully everything was okay. We did have a breaking news story that was awful. It was a fire that ended up with 9 people losing their homes. We have a video to show you. This happened in Buford overnight, and with fires like this, you hope for the best. You hope it can be contained. But, I mean, this was just awful. So we talked to fire crews. They tell us that this broke out at the countryside of Lake Lanier Mobile Home Park in Buford shortly after 1 in the morning. So fire crews in Hall County said a mobile home was already fully engulfed, like you just saw when they got there, and then it quickly spread to nearby homes from there. And so they called in additional firefighting resources. Everybody made it out, and there were no injuries reported, but it sounded terrifying. We talked to someone out there who said that they basically just fell asleep, and the next thing they knew, their mom was waking them up, beating on the door, saying the house was on fire. So, still half asleep. She said it even took her a couple minutes to register. So this was terrifying. And the woman who lived in the home thinks the fire might have started in the outdoor fire pit. She said they used it earlier on that evening, but put it out by pouring water over it, covering it, and just went to bed. So they think maybe that could have potentially been it, but firefighters have still not released an official cause for that fire. So at this point, that's just a theory. Also this morning, very tough story to report, one that might be a little bit hard to hear this morning, but a man in the metro is behind bars after a 16-year-old girl was allegedly trafficked. So police found her. We have some video for you to show you where. This is in Econo Lodge. The suspect is 22 years old. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office tells us they found him. Here he is. They found him with the girl in one of the rooms at that Econo Lodge in Union City. So he's been identified as Unique Patterson, and investigators tell us they found sex ads posted on websites dating back to January of this year. And we spoke to another victim of sexual abuse who now has an organization supporting survivors about this. So here's what she said.
Thank God that someone recognized that there was a child in trouble and they intervened. This young child will suffer in her healing for most of her life. And people don't really understand that type of trauma.
So, again, this is the suspect. He has been arrested, and he is in jail this morning. And so far, he's been charged with interference with custody, but police tell us that more charges are likely. We also have a wild drug bust that was made. This was massive. Police make drug busts quite a bit in our area here in Metro Atlanta, but this was a load. No other way to put that. Look at this. This is what police got in this one bust. 53 people are in jail connected to this. So the suspects are facing several charges related to drug trafficking, weapons violations, and just a lot more. Investigators tell us that 5 of those people are either confirmed or suspected gang members, and the suspects face several charges related to drug trafficking and weapons violations. So here's the full list of what was seized during this operation. 13 firearms, about 9 pounds of fentanyl, about 0.4 pounds of cocaine, about 26.5 pounds of methamphetamine, meth, about 1.25 pounds of marijuana, about 0.3 pounds of prescription pills, and 4.4 pounds of liquid narcotics, along with $47,333. You could have done quite a bit in this community with that. So hats off to that team who pulled off that operation. It was called Operation One Star. Gotta end it on a great story. The cat's been found. The one that's been roaming around the airport for days. Nobody's known where it's been. Everybody's been worried sick about this cat. Look at this. Got the moment that it was reunited. Isn't this sweet? So Basically, this happened a couple days ago. This is Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. And social media has been in a tizzy wondering where this cat was, trying to get it reunited with its owner. They found it in the Heritage Bookseller's closet at the airport. Officials tell us the cat escaped from the owner on Friday at the main checkpoint after the owner took 2 of her cats out of the carriers and one of them ran away. So airport units were told to be on the lookout. Travelers were asked to be on the lookout. Everybody was on the lookout. And there she was. Look at that. Adorable. Chilling there in a Heritage bookstore. We have a little sound with the owner about just her reaction.
I just wanted to thank everyone at the airport, especially emergency operations management. I mean, they've been nothing but, helpful in communicating with us through this entire thing. And thank you to everyone on social media for, putting pressure to find her.
Okay, so yeah, owner says Ren was hungry and dehydrated, but otherwise she was doing fine. I think everybody wants to know what she was eating. What was the cat eating this whole time? Do cats need to eat that much? Courtney's standing right here. We'll send it to her with this beautiful shot of the city. I'm just glad it was found, Courtney.
And I was just saying to Maria that you didn't even need to specify what this cat was. Like, you said the cat's been found, and I think all of Metro Atlanta knew exactly what you were talking about. We're like, yep, that cat, the one that got lost in Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. I don't know what that cat would have been eating. I mean, like, maybe pages from books? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of snacks in those bookstores in the airport, so who knows? If you're going around the Heritage bookstore anytime soon in Hartsfield-Jackson, you might want to check the packaging on everything, make sure it doesn't have little nibble marks out of it. So anyway, all right, let's talk about the weather, shall we? Because we do have some changes on the horizon. A first alert weather day tomorrow for, yes, very cold air that is going to be ushering into North Georgia tomorrow. You can see the upper levels of the atmosphere bring that huge slew of blue our way. Yes, the official start of spring is tomorrow. And winter just wants to give us one last little parting gift. It's not ready to let go just yet. So we'll talk about how cold it will be over the next couple of minutes here. We do have to get through today, which will be a really warm day. We'll have a nice southerly breeze. And with that said, with how dry the air is, our humidity is low, how warm the conditions are, and that breeze, we do have a red flag warning. We haven't had one of these in North Georgia in a very long time. What a red flag warning is it's issued when, again, the humidity is low, the temperatures are warm, and there's an elevated breeze. That means that the fire danger conditions are critical. So you are highly discouraged from doing any kind of burning outdoors. And really that goes for all of North Georgia, but particularly from like Helen all the way into Chattooga County, the Somerville area, up into the mountains. Don't be burning anything outside today, because any of those embers, any of those sparks could produce a rapid spread of a wildfire. So you just really need to not do any of that today. If you're cleaning up from storm damage, don't go burning any of it in your backyard. Not the day to do it. I do want to note that there is also a wind advisory from Fannin and Gilmer County and points west. That will continue through 8 o'clock tonight for wind gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. So there's that elevated wind that ultimately helped prompt that red flag warning for the day today. That red flag warning until 9 o'clock tonight. Now, temperatures today will be great. We'll have temperatures by noon near 70 degrees. Get outside today, guys. Enjoy it. We'll be in the upper 70s through most of the afternoon, and for your commute home, we will briefly touch 80 degrees in the city of Atlanta, and a lot of spots will touch 80 today. That would be 80 degrees for the first time this year, by the way. And at 9, we're still sitting at 70 degrees. Here's a look at those high temperatures that I mentioned. Even the mountains going into the mid to upper 70s. A lot of our suburbs, including the city of Atlanta, near 80 degrees today. They will hit that 80 degree mark. Going into tomorrow, our first alert weather day, that moved a little quicker than I thought. We'll have showers move in very early. So after midnight, some showers could start to roll into far northwest Georgia. If you're a very early commuter, we're talking like 4 or 5 a.m., you could run into a little bit of rain. We're not talking any thunderstorm activity. But notice this, in the afternoon hours between like 1 and 5, we're watching for wraparound showers, maybe even a few flurries flying around in the mountains. No accumulation of any kind of winter weather is expected, but if you see some of the showers start to transition over into maybe a flurry or two, don't be completely surprised in the highest elevations of the mountains, as it is possible for the afternoon and evening. Needless to say, it's going to get cold if we're talking the potential for flurries. This is the reason for our first alert weather day, at least part of a reason, because we're going to go from 80 degrees today to highs only in the 50s tomorrow, most of the afternoon spent in the 40s. So we're talking an over 30-degree temperature drop between this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. Pair that with the wind, it's going to be very breezy tomorrow. Gusts could exceed 30 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. It is going to feel colder. So tomorrow morning, stepping out the door, will be in the low 50s. We'll actually cool through the day. Temperatures will feel like the 40s. So you will need the coat tomorrow morning. And then going through the afternoon, temperatures will be in the 40s. Again, kind of a backwards day. We'll start warmer, we'll end up colder through the afternoon. It'll feel more like the 30s through the afternoon. And that cold air really settles in on Friday morning. The wind is going to stay elevated, not quite as blustery as tomorrow, but at least elevated enough to bring in a wind chill. It's going to feel more like the 20s Friday morning. Spring starting, more like winter, but it's okay because guess what? This is a very short-lived cold snap for us, guys, but you'll need the coat at least through Friday morning. This weekend looks great. We'll go back in the 60s Friday afternoon, and then going into the weekend, we'll be in the 70s, lots of sunshine. It's dry this weekend. We were originally tracking a rain chance, but that is now non-existent for us, so the weekend looks spectacular. Get out and enjoy it. We'll wake up in the low 40s Saturday. Up in the mountains, you might wake up in the upper 30s, so it'll be a pretty cold start to the morning on Saturday, but temperatures rebound into the mid-60s to low 70s Saturday afternoon. And then Sunday will be closer to 80 degrees again. A little bit of weather whiplash, temperature-wise, but it's okay. We'll take it. As long as the cold didn't stick around too long, I think we could all be happy. You know, all of our cold weather lovers can get their last taste of winter, and then all of us warm weather lovers ready for spring will have the warm weather return quite quickly, just in time for the weekend. We deserve a nice weekend, don't we? So let's talk about our 7-day forecast. Really no complaints except for tomorrow, right? Pretty nice weather. We have a high near 80 degrees today. Don't forget, you can watch the Braves on Gray. They're playing the Yankees tonight over in Florida, and you can watch that on Peachtree TV. If you don't know where that is, where you can find that, you can go to our website, and we have a lot of the details there for you. And we have our first alert weather day tomorrow. 53 is the morning temperature. The afternoon will generally be spent in the upper 40s, so a cold, windy day tomorrow. Waking up in the 30s on Friday. We could also have some spots north of the city get down to a freeze, so if you have any sensitive plants, especially if you live up in the mountains, you want to be bringing those in. A lot of things have already started to bloom because of the warm weather. Highs in the 60s Friday, gorgeous for the weekend, dry in 70s. And then Monday, that 40% coverage of rain is very early Monday morning, so right now it looks like it could impact the early morning commute for some of you. Highs in the 60s Monday, and then we'll be mostly dry next Tuesday with a high near 70 degrees. All right, everyone, enjoy the 80-degree day today. It is going to be spectacular. Hold on to it because tomorrow does bring those big changes. Make sure to have that First Alert Weather app handy. We'll give you everything you need to know to get you ready for the colder weather tomorrow. Just make sure you have the coat handy tomorrow into Friday morning, and we will just anticipate, not that we're already, I know a lot of you are already anticipating the weekend, but with that kind of weather, we'll anticipate it even more. Enjoy your Wednesday, everyone, and we'll catch you here next time.